Hello, it's coming up to holiday season, and I know that it's a time of year when everything can seem very busy, and it's very easy to not to find time to do things that you know are good for you because you feel there's pressure on you, that you've got more important things to do. Now, in these videos, I try to give you demonstrations and lead you in ways that can help guide your daily Qigong and mindfulness sessions, because Qigong and mindfulness is something that you really should, if you can, practice something every day. And the reason it's important to practice it every day is because the more you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. And one thing that I always say when people say, "Oh, I haven't got time to, I'm too busy," is to say, well, actually, all the evidence shows that people who take time to practice mindfulness daily are actually more productive during the rest of the day. And that's because when you practice mindfulness, you practice being focused, you're practicing putting your attention where you want it. And when you've got a lot of things to do, that's really useful, because with regular practice with mindfulness, you get used to recognizing when your mind's wandered off and you bring it back. And that's one reason why it's actually possible to markedly increase your productivity during the day if you take some time out just to still your mind and to practice techniques of mindfulness. Now, I recognize that finding time is really difficult. So what I'm going to do in today's video is go through two really easy, quick techniques. So, first of all, I'd like to invite you to get yourself settled and seated, or lying down, whatever you like. Turn your phone off, make sure everyone knows that you're not going to be disturbed. And then when you're comfortable, what I'd like you to do is to find a spot ahead of you. It can be on the wall, can be out of the window, whatever. But I want you to focus your eyes on a particular spot right in front of you, about in line with your natural eye line. So don't tip your head back, just look straight ahead and just pick a spot. And I want you to focus your attention onto that spot. Try and give your eyes a very soft focus. And then, without moving your eyes or moving your head, what are you aware of to your right hand side? Be curious what you can see and what you're aware of without moving your eyes or your head. Now, do the same to the left. Again, keep your eyes with that soft focus on that spot you picked out. Don't move your head. But what are you aware of on your left hand side? Now, doing the same thing, but this time, what are you aware of above your eye line? What's above your head? How much are you really aware of? And then do the same below your eye line. What's below you? What are you aware of in the lower part that's in front of you? And then finally, what can you be aware of that's behind you? So without moving your eyes, you've got 360-degree awareness where you're putting your attention. Now I'd like you to start to bring your attention inwards, focusing first of all on your body, where your body is. What posture is your body in? What sensations are you aware of in your body? And then move your awareness still further in and focus your attention onto your breath, onto the simple act of breathing in and breathing out. And then let your awareness start to move outwards again. Once again, becoming aware of where your body is. What's your posture like? What sensations have you got? Where is your skin being touched by clothes or hair? Where is your skin open to the air? Is that air warm or cold? Start to become aware of any sounds that are reaching your ears, not reaching out, just allowing those sounds to reach your ears. And then bring yourself back to normal awareness. And then take a moment to just bring yourself fully back into the room. Now that meditation is called a 3-minute breathing space because it takes about 3 minutes. The 360-degree awareness thing that I added in at the beginning isn't strictly part of it. You should spend 1 minute, but it kind of fits. You spend 1 minute aware of the room, then you slowly bring your awareness inward so you become aware of your body and then of your breath, and then gradually let your awareness move out again. So it's the shape of an hourglass with spending about 1 minute on each section. You can find that meditation online, or you don't really need to be guided. Once you know what you're doing, you can just sit there and do it and just practice it for yourself. It doesn't really need guidance. Now, the other technique that I would like to share with you is Qigong based, and again, it's only something that you need to spend 3 minutes a day on. It is something I have gone over with you before, but I think it's a good time to remind you. As with all Qigong, it can be done seated or standing. I'm going to go back and do it standing, so bear with me a moment while I move back from the camera. So, get yourself into your nice Qigong pose. That's feet are hip width apart. Take time to make sure your posture is good as it can be. If you want, just gently ground yourself using that, either the image of the lift or with roots growing out of your feet, whatever grounding technique works for you. And then you probably need a clock or a stopwatch to help you with this. I want you to do the first move of the Qigong set, opening the gates. So as we breathe in, let your arms float up, breathe out, and your arms gently sink down. And what you need to do, and we're not going to do it now, is to keep doing that for 1 minute. So maybe set yourself a stopwatch, and just for 1 minute, just gently, slowly repeat this arm raising move, remembering to keep all the good Qigong techniques in mind. So finding your own breath and your own rhythm, only moving your arms as far as you can manage in one breath, being mindful of your shoulders so that you're not stretching or straining, Just literally spend 1 minute moving your arms like this. And then when you've spent 1 minute doing that, the next minute should be spent doing what's called turning from the waist. Now again, I will demonstrate this to you. Right, I am not turning from my waist. I'm turning from my hips, and it's something I really shouldn't do because my hip is not good these days. So to turn from the waist, make sure that your feet are flat on the floor, that your weight is evenly distributed. Engage these core abdominal muscles with a quick twist. And then focusing on these core abdominal muscles, turn from the waist, making sure that you're keeping your hips, knees and toes all in the same position. So just gently turn from the waist. You may not be able to turn very far if you're not used to doing it, but turning from the waist is a very useful technique. Let your arms hang loosely by your side, and as you get used to doing it, what happens is that as you move your body, your arms begin to swing. But don't make the mistake of thinking, right, I'm going to swing my arms. No, the movement comes because your arms are responding to the movement of your body. And no, I'm not moving very far. I'm a bit tense today. Need to loosen up a bit. So that's the second segment of this routine. You spend 1 minute turning from the waist. The third minute is equally easy. When you've done those 2 moves, you find yourself somewhere where you can sit in a good posture, and you spend 1 minute just keeping your focus on your breathing, and this is pure mindfulness. Again, set a stopwatch, help you keep time. And doing either of those techniques, either the 3-minute breathing space or that 3-minute routine, raising the arms, turning from the waist, and then the minute sitting, focusing on your breath, is a very simple, quick way to give yourself 3 minutes of mindfulness. Whether you prefer to sit and do a meditation, or whether you prefer the movement aspect of the Qigong, is very much down to personal choice. But you are spending 3 minutes or so being mindful. And everybody can find 3 minutes a day. I know it's a busy time of year, but everybody can find 3 minutes a day. And it's time well spent. Because particularly if you're the one that's responsible for doing all the Christmas wrapping and all the shopping and all the organising, you're probably extremely frazzled. So making time for yourself, making time for some self-care, doing something for no other reason than you're worth it, is something that's very empowering to do. Now, if you want to do the more traditional moves and videos and meditations that I do in videos, obviously all the videos are online and you can choose what you do on any particular day, but I would encourage you to try and do something every day, even if all you do is just spend a minute sitting focusing on your breathing. Now, I've decided that this is going to be my last video of 2019. It's the holiday season coming up. I do have things to do and places to go. I will be back in the new year. I know currently that I have an event on the Crystal Wolf Holistic Care page. I may not go for an event like that because obviously that means that I'm in theory tying myself down to a particular time, and I'm not sure I want to do that. So keep an eye on the Crystal Wolf Holistic Care page for notifications of what I'm going to be doing instead. But I will, with your own personal mindfulness and Qigong practice, because that's really what I'm all about. I'm about empowering people to take control of their own personal health, their own mental health, their thoughts, and that's really what I'm all about. So to all those of you who've watched these videos over the past year, thank you so much. I am so grateful. Please feel free to share these videos with anybody else. I may very well look at doing things differently in the new year. If you've got anything you would particularly like to see me do or like me to talk about or focus on, you know how to contact me. But in the meantime, I'm going to end by wishing you a very joyous holiday time, and I hope that all your wishes and hopes for 2020 can come to fruition. But even if they can't, then I hope that you will have the tools to make your 2020 as good as it possibly can be. But in the meantime, I hope that you can have a very, very joyous holiday time. Thank you so much for being with me during this year, and I look forward to seeing you next year.